Buying etiquette. Have I been doing it wrong this whole time? It's me, Baxter.
And me, Jonathan.
At Casino Guitars.
We're here.
Hey, thanks for joining us. Click like, subscribe.
Hit the bell.
And we're moving on right now. That's it. We did it.
Bam!
So it's a weird time in the world.
Yeah.
I like buying gear.
I also like to buy gear.
I like buying vintage gear. I like buying new gear.
Yep.
I love buying like just stuff from amps to guitars. I don't really buy pedals, but I do have some pedals I buy. I don't play them.
I like pedals.
But it's come to my attention that some people buy differently than I do.
That's true.
So when I buy an amplifier
Yep.
or a guitar,
Yep.
my first instinct is usually not to take it apart.
Why?
That's
ridiculous.
I'm just asking.
Baxter, it's ridiculous.
Are you being
Are you even a real guitar player? Have you ever even played guitar? Do you take your amplifier?
or my guitar? It's not like my first instinct. I have played professionally for a long time, I guess.
Lies.
Across,
You shill.
across the strings. What's a shill mean?
I'll explain
my
later.
words.
Don't worry about it. We'll talk through it.
Oh, Lord, hell. No, I am like, I'm curious. Like, I feel like most customers aren't that way. I feel like, but I feel like with the whole online thing, including what we do here, because we're just here to really talk about, have fun. I'd say 80% of the stuff we talk about, we don't sell. Like, we just talk about it because we're having a good time. We like guitars.
Well, the last few videos that I have done, like not our talky things,
Right.
with like products in them.
Yeah, I don't think we
There
saw any of
were
those.
4 amps that we didn't sell, a pedal we don't sell. We're not even dealers for the brand.
That is true.
3 vintage amps that none of them were for sale here. So I mean, like, yeah.
Well, so I mean, that's what I'm sort of asking. Like when you buy, like if you're who's watching this and you buy like a new piece, like let's say you get your new Fender Stratocaster, Ultra Luxe from Fender, set up, it plays great, wonderfully. Is the first thing you do like take the neck off? I've never taken the neck off a guitar unless I'm setting it
I
up.
don't think anybody does that for like an Ultra Luxe, right? Because you know what you're getting. And I think people do that like on vintage stuff, rightly so. You see people doing it for like custom shop stuff online, but that's always kind of funny to me because
I do it with vintage stuff.
Well, I usually feel like custom shop. If I'm so questionable, I got to take the neck off. I probably don't want it. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's that, unless maybe I'm just trying to flip it to make money, which I don't feel like now is the time for that.
In my long line as like a player, a collector, a guitar seller and stuff too, like the only times I've really taken the backs of amps off is when I'm working on them. Like I know what they are. I know what they're made of usually, so I don't have to do that.
If it was a vintage piece and I wanted to know if it had like been modded, do you know what I mean? Or like what was original?
I remember I was up at Bull City Sound in Durham, and Russ was working on one of my old Vox. This is years ago, 15 years ago at least probably. He's working on an old Vox AC30 of mine, and he's like got it on, and I'm sitting there getting ready to touch stuff. He grabs me. He goes, "Wow, wow!" He's like your height and just big man. He just knocks me over and like he holds me. And he sort of locks me down.
Starts to caress you.
Like Striking Bikers from Black Mirror.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a little bit weird and strange. And he doesn't look like a beautiful Asian woman that plays the strange empath in Guardians of the Galaxy, which I just figured out. If you know Striking Vipers, you'll know what I'm talking about now. Circle. And she's also in the new Mission Impossible.
Really?
She's a bad guy.
I did not know.
She's like an assassin.
I didn't know
An
this at all.
assassiness is what you call a female
Is that what you
assassin.
call it? An assassiness?
I just made that up. I just offended somebody
Assassina.
with that. No, but I just don't really take. I take them off to retube them. If you're doing a rebias or something, or if you.
Yeah, but you don't have to take the back off 3-2 them even. You just push the shit off. Some of them you do.
Or I'm just curious too. Or do you want the guitar and if it's never come out of the box?
Well, some people are like, I was gonna say, I feel like there are some customers who don't want the neck and junk off, right? Because
I definitely don't want the neck off.
I've seen that before. I mean, I'm kind of indifferent.
I just don't want it off because I don't want. I mean, if the guitar's been like set up from the factory, it's usually pretty good. Like sometimes we're doing tweaks here, obviously as a shop, all the time.
Yeah.
When Sean was just over here being like, I'm gonna tweak these guitars and this and that, and I'm like, cool, awesome. But I usually don't want it being like destroyed and flummoxed like that. That's just. But I don't want it in the box either.
I mean, the amp is not destroying the setup of the amp. It's just I don't know when we got to like that, right? Because like I've never bought like a Fender amp and thought, let me take the back off. Now to be fair, play devil's advocate. I know I'm supposed to be the salty one. Maybe if you suspect something is not what it is being,
yes,
advertised as, it's just a weird thing, right? But I feel like there's this weird imagined thing lately with some products we've seen where people think that maybe they're priced too high for what they're supposed to be.
We'll get in that. We got another video breaking down that whole chain of that, so stay tuned. That'll be coming out hopefully later this week. But
I don't know.
No, but what I'm just seeing about because most of our customers and friends that we work with, I'd say 90% of them are not working touring musicians. No. They're people that want to play for joy. And that's primarily my purpose of purchasing instruments now. When I do it's joy. And does it add to the joy to have the minutia detail of that when you get upset by it, or does it take away from it? Because sometimes it does. There's a hunt. I like getting into detail-oriented stuff sometimes, and it's tricky. Sometimes I just want to throw the dice and roll with it.
Well, yeah. So I know we started off talking about buying etiquette, right?
Yes.
So would it be proper etiquette to walk into Guitar Center and say, hey, I'd like to purchase either, let's say, an American Ultra.
Okay.
Or
Ultra Lux.
I
want the nicest.
Or maybe on the amp side, maybe Deluxe Reverb.
Let's do a Vox AC30.
Or let's say a Mesa Lone Star.
Okay, Lone Star. Those are nice. I have one in the other room.
And you're like, hey, I think I want this, but before, we're going to need to disassemble it. And make sure. Is that, or do you buy it and you go home and you disassemble it, and if you're not happy, you return it? Is that proper etiquette? What's the proper etiquette?
God, it's tricky. I mean, let me take it from a guitar shop's perspective. Because, would I rather you decide right then and there that you want the guitar, and then not sell it to you, then you go home and you do it and you bring it back? Because returns are no fun. It's not a big deal, but it's never an exciting moment. And I probably wouldn't be disassembling guitars for folks if they're not buying it.
No. Absolutely not. It's a lot of pain in the what. But or maybe it is. Maybe that's why you watch the YouTube video for the dude to disassemble it. But how do you know if you trust the dude disassembling it when he tells you something's either fantastic or not?
God, it is tricky.
I mean, it just brings into a lot of random weird questions that I don't think I normally think about.
I don't know if I'm a sucker or a rube or just naive, but I like most of the toys that I get to play. I feel so lucky and blessed. Every day I get to come in and play with this is new guitar just came in. We just carried $50,000 worth of Fender custom shops next door right before we shot this video, and it was I can't believe what's in our hands. These are amazing guitars that I would have spent years just trying to see one of them. And now I can see them readily, and the pedals that I'll never buy, but I get to play with them and have the funny weird noises. And
we get amazing stuff that we carry. We have a lot of good friends who send us things to try. I'm staring at right off camera that Marshall, the Studio JTM, 20
from
watt thing.
Sir Walsh.
That's right, Sir Walsh. I love that amp. I played that amp the other day, and I was like, man, this is the most fun I've had.
And you actually disassembled it and took it apart. You took all...
That's cool, right, Kevin?
You smashed the tubes, too.
Well, but I was going to say, it never occurred to me. And that's quite a bit more. I think that's a bit more expensive than the Gibson amp.
What, the Falcon?
Yes. I believe that the JTM Studio is quite a bit more. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe they're the same price. Anyways, it did not occur to me while I was playing it that I should look in the back of it.
No, it's a cool amplifier.
It's a great amplifier.
Great amplifier. It's food for thought though. But it's as a deep dive deep dive reviews too. We're getting into some of those as well. We do certain things where we will do that. But that's
I feel we haven't done as much of those, right? Usually I feel ours are just, hey, here's how this thing sounds, and occasionally how we feel about it. But mostly
we are like the empath.
Here's us playing it.
The empath from Guardians of the Galaxy.
But now we've talked about doing more sort of in depth.
Those are maybe coming
with our new little studio set here.
Soonish. So prepare. Derek's all about his macro and micro cameras and zooming in, and and seeing beautiful things taken apart.
We've got an electron microscope.
No, but just let us know your thoughts. I think it's fascinating. It's not a good or bad either way. It's just like I'm always fascinated. It's a fun conversation to have. We were sort of digging into it, and I don't know what I am anymore, but I am a customer because I am still buying things. I'm buying a vintage guitar right now from someone across the country.
Ooh.
And so it's part of what I do.
I haven't even heard about this.
And I'll tell you about it later. It's exciting.
News
Doesn't say Gibson on it, unfortunately. It's one of those F words.
Esteban.
Oh, I love Esteban. If you could collect, if somebody out there has the
Esteban #1
collection, that's the customer I want to know. Because some people are like, oh, I'm going to get one of each of these PRSs. I'm going to have one of each of the cores. I'm like, which you could do in PRS. And that'd be an attainable collection to do. But if you had all the Estebans, like one of each.
Like, remember the one we had with the, it was
Bedazzled?
like bedazzled, and it had like the words on. What did it sound about?
I've seen multiples of those.
Really? Like different ones?
Yes. God. Yes, I believe they made a lot of those guitars. They're not as rare as I thought.
Now listen, it's sort of like when I was a kid and you would go to like Hardee's and get the cup, you know? I mean, I know that's very highbrow and fancy, but we would try to get all those cups.
Have you seen the new collector's popcorn tin for Dune?
No.
That's coming out. It looks like.
Is that real?
Yes.
Is it real?
They're going to sell out immediately. We got to get those.
Okay.
I feel like we should get them,
1st.
and then we'll have to go see that in the theater.
Listen, March 1st is my anniversary.
But
I'm going to say Dune anniversary.
It's no brainer.
I'm just kidding.
Dune with Baxter.
Christy. We'll bring Christy too.
She can come.
She can come.
We'll watch it together. She can sit.
We'll get her one of those popcorn things. It'll be fun.
I'll sit in the middle of you two.
That'll be great.
And I can have the popcorn
We'll
right in my
hold
lap.
hands in your lap.
And you guys can
that'll
reach in there and grab it. And if you're a young person watching this, you don't know who Esteban is, do yourself a favor, look up Esteban. He's been in some Geico commercials, but his true fame comes years yonder before.
It's quite the rabbit hole though. So be prepared. Be prepared if you open that door.
He's a feat. We love Esteban here, so that's all. Again, click like, subscribe.
Hit the old bell.
Thanks for joining us.
Don't take the bell apart. Just hit it. Just touch it.
Peace be with you.